Okay guys, this is the weekly outlook for 27th of April until the 31st of April. Let's get right into it. Now, I think we'll start off with indices, and for me there's nothing going on here, if I'm honest, because if you have a look, yeah, this month of April, which opened down here, was pretty much up only. And so far there is nothing. You can see this is probably the biggest monthly candle we've ever had. So yeah, up only. You'd consider it to be up only until we get a new phase of price, which hopefully is a retracement back into somewhat this range. Because eventually we're gonna hit 50% of this leg. So below 26k is where I would expect us to go at some point, and we're just waiting for that. So I would expect May to maybe do that. I wouldn't really look so much into this last week of April to do so much, but yeah, I would still consider it to go lower when you get your signature for it to go lower. So I'm not gonna short it randomly because we already have it. We expanded again higher to a new all-time high, so we have an expansion higher. So I'm expecting this still to go higher to wherever, right? If we check out the weekly outlook, the news events for this coming week, the real red folder news is Wednesday, which is the most high impact, which is the FOMC. So maybe Wednesday we formate a reversal, maybe form a high or low of the week on assets, which is what I'd be looking out for. And we can see that Friday it's a bank holiday in the Europe for May 1st. So we'll keep that in mind. But then USD, we have news on Wednesday and Thursday. So that's NASDAQ out the way. If I check ES, it's also right all-time high. Nothing, in my opinion, for us to trade into. So again, I am sidelined on this. The only interesting one would be YM, right? Because YM is the only pair that has not taken out all-time high yet. And for me, the signature for it to go all-time high, we've already tapped this daily gap. So I will need a strength switch. So we already have a one stage on the daily where this candle is closing bullish and YM is closing bearish. So we have a PSP, which is also an SMT. So it is a two-stage, and Friday didn't give much of a move. So I would now expect though for us to kind of YM to have a strength switch. So a market opens where YM is pumping more than NQ, which we've seen that many times. And I would expect that to happen this week, and we take out the previous week high of Tuesday, so above 50k at least. And I think we could get a move this week maybe to all-time highs. Okay, and I think once YM takes all-time high, then we can start actually looking for proper shorts back into the range. So if we do get all-time high this week, then May to short would make sense. So as of now, there's not even an entry in my opinion, so I'd rather want to see price expand away. And once we expand away, then I will look for longs. Okay, so that's what you want to look for. Get some sort of, move higher like that. So expand away first, and then look for longs if that opportunity presents itself. Now we go into gold. Now for me, gold is interesting because my bias is we are bearish until we take out this low Monday 13. The only reason why is we broke the SMTs here, so I really don't see anywhere for us to hold. Now again, we started the week off higher, or we opened on Monday, we made the SMT with a gap, and we expanded lower. So on Friday, it capped the range by sweeping out this low and trading back higher. And you can see on the lower time frame, there's a lot of low resistance liquidity here building up. So all this you can call it like trendline liquidity resistance, and that is why on Friday I was looking for longs to target these on gold, which hasn't been taken out. So I'm wondering if we start the week going higher and then form high of the week somewhere here after we take out these highs, and then go lower to these lows, because these lows are all piling up, and I still think we have moved to the downside, which I will get into next because DXY. So I'm gonna watch this out. I think this is a nice bullish expansion. I want to target these highs at bare minimum. So these highs are my target, and I really think that this low should hold. This low here on that created on Friday. So I want this low to hold, and ideally we just make a shallow move in this order block, and then we go for longs. So we try to just get a shallow move in here in this order block section, and then look for longs to this high. So that will be very clean. On CFDs, if you're on CFD, the target I'm looking for is 4743. It's possible we take 4753, but look, we're also going to be in this nice order block. So if price does take out this high right before this 15-minute order block here, would be very nice to then go for shorts and continue with the bias. So we'll just have to wait and see. If you remember my Euro USD, what's it called, outlook last week, so far so good in my opinion. Now if I bring in the second pair, let's say we bring in GU, if we have a look, okay, if we have a look at the trades here, if I look correctly, you can see we've taken out some highs. So now we are in a daily fair value gap on Euro, which did close above it, which isn't really concerning. And here there was no gap, but nevertheless, we are expecting Monday to take out this Friday high. And if you look here on the right-hand side, you would expect GU to also take out this trendline liquidity. So we just have to go slightly higher on GU. And for Euro, in my opinion, so we're already in a gap, 6-hour gap, and the 4-hour gap. Now, if we do try to go higher in the start of the week, I would expect this order block to hold up for us. But yeah, at the moment we have an SMT at that order block with GU. If you have a look here, we're taking out that high, right? But I think we take out these highs and we still create that SMT here. So Euro is obviously the weaker asset. And what I want to mark is that you can maybe look for something here in this order block, the 4-hour order block. So this 4-hour order block right here is where price could, for example, start to go lower from, and that would be very interesting. Okay, so I want to, my bias is bearish until we take out that weekly fair value gap. You see we've created a weekly fair value gap now, and if you have a look closely, that's where my drawn liquidity was since that previous weekly outlook. So I want these lows to get swept, and that's very, very clean move to the downside I will be expecting on Euro. That's why I'm expecting gold to also go down. Okay, so we'll wait for this to set up and continue shorting. Okay, same. Now the next interesting pair, which is the final pair that we'll look into, if I'm not mistaken, is Bitcoin. Okay, now I know the chart is so messy, God. So what I'm trying to say is we've tapped the monthly fair value gap on Bitcoin here. Okay, sorry that my chart's so messy on Bitcoin. So we've tapped into this gap. And what we haven't done here is we haven't tapped into the gap on ETH. Now you can already see initially an SMT formulating between 2 weeks, right? The problem is that why I don't think that high is already in, even though we've created that SMT, is because price is not showing displacement lower. And since we are close to finishing the month of April, I would expect May to take out this high, kind of go between 80K and 81K, and then start its move to go to 60K. Okay, we take out these lows down here. That is the move I'm waiting for Bitcoin. So good 20K move minimum. We're just gonna wait for this high to get swept, and when the high gets swept, because we're consolidating, so it's not a signature of reversal, we will take out this high, and then I'll start to look for sells. But this is super interesting. Bitcoin, I do think will go to 60K from 80 to 81K, so we'll keep an eye on that. Other than that, there aren't many biases at the moment, but I hope you learned something from this video, and let's kill this week. Come on.